You know that feeling? The deep, calming peace when you're finally by yourself. The world just fades away. No demands, no performances, just you and your own thoughts. It feels like a superpower, and in many ways it is. But what if I told you that this same superpower has a hidden, dangerous side, a trait that slowly, quietly builds a wall around you? Not a wall that protects you, but a wall that traps you. This isn't a video for people who are forced into loneliness. This is for those of us who choose it, who crave it. And if you're watching this, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. We're going to talk about the dangerous trait of people who love being alone. It starts innocently enough. You have a long day, you cancel plans to recharge. You prefer a good book to a noisy party. This is self-care. This is intelligent. But there's a line you cross without even realizing it. The trait isn't the love of solitude itself. The dangerous trait is what solitude can become. A crutch. An identity. A place where you stop growing because you're no longer challenged. The first dangerous shift is from self-sufficiency to isolation. Think about it. When you're perfectly content alone, you start solving all your problems internally. You deal with stress by withdrawing. You handle heartbreak by locking it away. You process failure in a silent room. You become your own best friend, therapist, and cheerleader. And that sounds strong, doesn't it? It sounds like resilience. But here's the truth. Strength that is never tested becomes brittle. A mind that only ever hears its own thoughts starts to echo. It loses perspective. You might think you're handling everything, but you're just storing it. You're building a dam instead of learning to navigate the river. Real strength isn't about bearing all weight alone. It's about knowing which weights to bear and when to ask for a spotter. When you isolate, you rob yourself of that crucial feedback loop. The friend who tells you you're being irrational. The loved one who offers a different perspective. The simple joy of sharing a win with someone else. Your world becomes very, very small, and in a small world, small problems feel massive. The second danger, and this is the silent killer, is that you lose your social muscle. And yes, it is a muscle. If you don't use it, it atrophies, it weakens. You know the feeling. You've been alone for a few days, deeply productive in your flow state. Then you have to go to the grocery store, and the simple act of making small talk with the cashier feels exhausting, alien. It feels like work. Now magnify that. A spontaneous invitation to a gathering sends a jolt of anxiety, not excitement. A potential new friendship feels like a burden because it requires energy you'd rather spend on your own projects. You start to prefer the predictable comfort of your own company to the messy, unpredictable but vital experience of human connection. This isn't just introversion anymore. This is a skill fading away. The skill of conversation, the skill of reading a room, the skill of vulnerability, the skill of dealing with conflict. When you stop practicing these, you don't just get rusty. You build a life where you actively avoid situations that require them. And in avoiding them, you confirm the belief that they are too difficult, too draining. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy that leads to a life lived in black and white, when it could be in color. But the third point, this is the most profound danger. It's the stories you start to tell yourself. In the silence of your own mind, you begin to craft a narrative. You tell yourself, I don't need anyone. People are drama. I'm better off on my own. These stories start as protective shields, but soon they become the walls of your prison. Let me give you a scenario. You're working on a big project. It's tough. Instead of asking for help, you grind for weeks alone. You finally get it done, but it was 10 times harder than it needed to be. The story you tell yourself? See, I did it all by myself. I'm so resilient. But the real story, you were afraid to be vulnerable. You were afraid to look like you didn't know something. Your love of solitude masked a hidden fear of being judged. Or another one. A relationship ends. Instead of feeling the pain and leaning on friends, you retreat. You tell yourself, this is proof that relationships are a distraction. I'm meant to be alone to focus on my mission. But the real story? You're using solitude as a painkiller. You're numbing the hurt instead of processing it. You're trading a temporary sharp pain for a long, slow, quiet ache of isolation. These stories we tell ourselves in the quiet. They are the most powerful lies we will ever believe. They sound like wisdom, but they are often just fear in disguise. So, what's the answer? To never be alone again? Of course not. That's not the point. The love of solitude is a gift. But like any powerful gift, you have to wield it with awareness. The goal is not to replace solitude with constant socialization. The goal is to achieve balance, to use your solitude as a tool for growth, not as a hiding place from life. Your time alone is where you recharge, where you create, where you think deeply. That is your power. But you must then step back into the world. You must test those thoughts. You must share that energy. You must allow yourself to be seen, to be challenged, to be messy. It's the difference between using solitude as a workshop and using it as a bunker. A workshop is a place you go to build things you will eventually bring out into the world. A bunker is a place you go to hide from the world. Which one are you using? So here is your takeaway. Your love of being alone is not your weakness, but it becomes your danger the moment it stops being a choice and starts being a reflex. The moment it becomes a wall instead of a room. Embrace your solitude. Cherish it, but never let it become the thing that stops you from growing. Never let the quiet comfort of your own company become so comfortable that you forget how to share your life with others. True strength isn't in total independence. It's in knowing how to be independent while still having the courage to be interdependent. It's in building a life that has both deep silence and meaningful noise. If this hit home, I want you to do something for me. First, hit that like button if you know the struggle between loving your solitude and fearing this trap. Second, I want you to drop a comment below. Just write one sentence. Finish this sentence. My solitude becomes dangerous when I use it to avoid. Be honest, this is for you. And finally, subscribe to this channel. We're here to break down these walls together, to build real strength, not just comfortable cages. Now go and use your solitude wisely.